Do you ever spend hours creating or updating your resume, but you rush when it comes to that final thorough proofread? Or maybe you get tired writing or rewriting it, or you're left with no time when it comes to give that final thorough look. If so, then this video is for you. I'm going to discuss 2 pieces of advice for giving that final look to your resume. First, why it's important to proofread and format your resume, and second, how you can do so in simple steps without spending much time. Before we dive deeper, for those who don't know me, I'm Nikita, a SHRM certified HR, and I have over a decade of experience in hiring professionals. In Recruitment Insights, I'm passionate about helping other job seekers in reaching their career goals. And while you are here, make sure you subscribe to my Recruitment Insights channel so that you will never miss any of my future uploads. Alright, this video is all about proofreading and formatting your resume. But if you would like to learn how to write a resume from scratch, then check out the link above, which is a detailed video on writing different sections of a resume. Plus, I have a video that walks you through the things that you should not include on your resume. So here is the link for that as well. I would highly recommend watching both the videos after you watch this one. That way you will have a complete package right from writing a resume from scratch to proofreading it to have that professional look on your resume. Plus, I have a bonus tip towards the end of the session, so stay tuned. Okay, let's begin why it is crucial to proofread and format your resume. Its purpose is to let a potential employer know that you are well organized and careful about details. On the other hand, resumes with unclear formatting or with too many typos make most hiring managers or recruiters perceive that you have a laid-back attitude. And this in turn reduces your chances of getting more interview calls. Alright, so now you understood why it is important. Let's move on to the detailed checklist for proofreading and formatting to make your resume look polished. Let's start with proofreading. There are 7 boxes to check while proofreading your resume. Number 1, make sure your resume is ATS friendly. Let me first quickly explain you what ATS is. ATS is an applicant tracking system which is primarily used by talent acquisition, or you can say TA team. It is an automated software which is used to keep track of candidate status throughout the hiring process. Alright, so now you got a brief idea what ATS is. So it is really important to make your resume ATS compatible, and you can do so by including keywords from the job description of the position that you're planning to apply for. And this is because one of the key jobs of ATS is to sort inbound resumes based on the keywords provided by the TA team for every job posting. As many companies use ATS these days, integrating keywords all over the resume wherever it is appropriate has become essential. Next, write a clean and concise resume. Do not make your resume wordy. I would highly recommend writing your professional summary and work experience in bullet points versus in paragraph, as bullet points are always easier to scan. If you still feel like explaining your professional summary in paragraph, then I would say don't go over 3 to 4 sentences in a paragraph and then switch to the next one. Also, if you're running over 25 to 30 words in a sentence, then split it into smaller sentences. Doing so would help in better readability and understanding of content. Next, include white spaces. Make sure your resume have at least 2 lines of white spaces between each section of your resume, and adequate margins around the content to give the eye a rest, declutter your resume, and to take the reader to the next point. Moving on to the next, get all the hyperlinks in place, such as email addresses, LinkedIn, and any other relevant links. So when a person clicks on them, they can directly access your desired site. Next, highlight your tenure with a company in month and year format, such as May 2016, for recognizing readily different durations across the companies. This brings me to the last two important points. I have noticed many individuals, they don't pay attention to consistency with grammar and a period at the end of each sentence. So the point 6 is do a thorough spell check and a tense check. Always have spell check on, but you can't rely on it 100%. So checking for your industry related terms and most grammar and sentence structure is on you. Also, don't get confused with possessive pronouns and contractions, such as their, THEIR, which is a possessive pronoun, versus their, which is they are. They sound similar, but they are spelled out differently. Similarly, it's possessive versus its, which is it is. Sometimes we all get confused while using them and make these small typos. You need to be cautious of not making such mistakes and know when to use which. Alright. And most importantly, be consistent using verb tenses while describing a specific job, such as designed and developed Android application for integration within online learning management systems. Here you see I have used the past tense to describe previous jobs. On the other hand, stick to simple present tense for your current jobs. For example, map and source talent strategically from competition, employee referrals, and professional networks. I hope you got the idea. Another important piece is don't switch from past or present simple to continuous to perfect tense while describing all the responsibilities and achievements related to your specific job. As I said earlier, either use simple past for describing your previous companies or use simple present for your current job positions for maintaining that consistency. Alright, so now the final step while proofreading is all about evenness. Make sure each bullet point ends consistently. And do check that the common nouns are not capitalized. Let me show you this. In this example, you will see order management system, deployments, multiple servers, and framework are capitalized. Whereas the thumb rule is that we shouldn't capitalize common nouns. This is one of the major issues I see in most resumes. Also, if you notice, the second bullet point ends in a period, whereas there is no period at the end of the first bullet point. This is what we need to avoid. Either you have a period at the end of each bullet point or you skip them altogether. There has to be evenness across all the bullet points. So, both the bullet points should be written something like this. I hope you got an idea now. Now let's move on to formatting your resume, which involves 5 steps. Number 1, font type. Choose a font that is easy to read and doesn't take up a lot of space on your resume. Let me show you some of the go-to fonts and how each font looks like. Here you have 10 most popular font types. I would say select any one of these as there is no one best font to choose from. I'm showing you a font in its own type so that you can better understand what each font looks like. Number 1, Arial. Number 2, Avenir. Number 3, Baskerville. Number 4, Charter. Number 5, Helvetica. Number 6, Optima. Number 7, Palatino. Number 8, Tahoma. Number 9, Trebuchet. Number 10, Verdana. I would highly urge for you to use only one font and stick to it throughout your resume for consistency. And another reason is your resume shouldn't give a feeling to your recruiters or hiring managers that you have copied content from elsewhere. Next comes your font size. Your font size depends upon the type of font you are choosing. So you have to keep adjusting the font size until it looks easy on the eyes. It usually ranges between 9 and 12 for body content and between 14 and 16 for headings and your first and last name. Further down, let's talk about margins. The top, bottom, and the side margins on your resume page should ideally be the same size. But if you have more content to showcase, then you can narrow your side margins to no less than 0.5 inches. Otherwise, your resume will look very cluttered. Let me show you how you can adjust margins in both Mac and PC. Let's start with MS Word. Go to Layout menu, under Page Setup tab, drop down Margins, select the option per your need. You see these different options here. The normal option gives you 1-inch margins on all 4 sides of your page, while the narrow changes all margins to 1/2 inches. If you want to modify the margins to 1 inches on the top and bottom, but 1/2 inches on the sides, then you can click Custom Margins at the bottom and manually input your specifications there. You have to keep adjusting margins until your entire content fits in well. Alright, now let me show you how to set margins in Apple Pages. It's actually really easy. Click on the Documents tab and come all the way down to Document Margins. Now, depending on how you want to adjust your margins, anywhere between 1/2 and 1 inches, make those changes. I hope this has helped. Further down, the next step is to save your resume with a meaningful name. Save your resume with your first and last name, underscore, your position name, or you can mention your primary skill set. For instance, Nikita Mehrotra underscore IT Recruitment Manager. Jim William underscore Java Architect. This gets really handy for recruiters when they save it on their laptops. Now let's talk about the final step. Submit your resume in PDF format. And this is really important for 3 reasons. Number 1, anyone can open your PDF file. Some people use Mac, others use PC. For instance, if you have saved your Word document in docx format, then individuals who use dated version of MS Word might have difficulty opening your Word document. Plus, if you're on Mac and you're sending your Pages document to someone that doesn't have an Apple device, might face difficulty opening it. So the safe bet is to save your Word document in PDF. Number 2, no one can edit or make any changes to your resume. And then number 3, a PDF file doesn't show red underlining under certain words, unlike MS Word or Apple Pages. And this keeps your content looking clean. With that, now you have a thorough checklist to follow to get your proofreading and formatting correct. If you check off all these steps, I'm sure your resume will get noticed and you will get more interview calls. And as promised, here is a bonus tip. If a text on your resume moves over to a following page just by a line or 2, then try one of these 3 things to get rid of that extra page. Number 1, try using a different font type that reads well in a smaller size. And number 2, rewrite bullet points concisely by omitting redundancies, pronouns and articles. And then number 3, narrow a margin a little from all sides with no less than 1/2 inches. And here's your chance. If you learned anything new today, or if you have any follow-up question, let me know in the comments below. I would love to respond. Also, if you enjoyed this session, be sure to let me know. And you can do so by giving a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribing to this channel, so that you will never miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time.